When you could do many things most people can't even think to do, it causes them to become envious of you. BYD, acronym for Build Your Dreams, rather than hoping for prayers to do it for you. But these electric cars are threatening most dealers around the world, and they have enough of these cars right now to supply half of the world. They done outsold Tesla to the point where they can see death around the corner. These BYDs are cheaper in prices, but they're more durable, reliable than the rest, while adding comfort, power, and performance all in one. They do a lot of tricks, crab turns, 360 rotations, and I'm finna cover a lot of things, so step with your boy.
There are around 400 of them on the road, covering half the city.
When it first takes off, it's a really strange feeling not to have a driver, but you get used to it pretty quickly. You can sit back, scroll through the music, enjoy the scenery, and really imagine just how intelligent this technology is to be able to operate with no driver in the middle of very busy roads in Wuhan.
They also have unmanned flying taxis or sky taxis that requires no driver at all and takes you to your destination in a smooth and swift ride while overlooking down from the high city skies. I mean, these people on another level.
The speed and scale with which Chinese companies can get these projects off the ground is breathtaking. China already
now listen how
dominates
deep
the
China
world
got
for
Europe in their
drones.
feelings.
Take
And
the
these
electric
flying
vehicle
taxis
sector.
could be next.
It is a crucial industry for the clean economy with a huge potential in Europe. But global markets are now flooded with cheaper Chinese electric cars. And their price is kept artificially low by huge state subsidies. This is distorting our market. So I can announce today that the Commission is launching an anti-subsidy investigation into electric vehicles coming from China.
Like I say, when you could do so many things many can't do, they're gonna start to catch beef for you.
These big investments made by Chinese companies have not gone unnoticed in the United States.
Today, I am here to announce that great powered competition is back in the Americas. The hammer and the sickle has returned in full force, and the Chinese Communist Party's first order of business is to own Latin America, our backyard. China has secured a presence in Latin America through what we could call a Trojan horse strategy to become the #1 trading partner in our region. Let me repeat it. Our hemisphere has been invaded by China, and they are now the #1 trading partner in the region. #1 trading partner in the region. 20 years ago, they traded $12 billion. 20 years later, last year, they hit $450 billion. That is a 3,000% increase. 3,000% increase.
And you wonder why the U.S. do not want these cars coming over here. They'll free us out of slavery. U.S. like, fuck that, we gonna keep their ass in slavery. Keep their ass with this gas. We ain't with that electric and clean energy. We're gonna give them gas and pollute this earth. Now when BYD is starting to sell more cars than BMW, that poses a serious problem for China and German relations, cause somebody gonna be in their feelings, and it ain't gonna be China. BYD shares soared 75% so far this year, boosting their market value past $150 billion, surpassing Ford, GM, and Volkswagen combined. BYD has also surpassed Tesla as the top world's electric vehicle seller, both in terms of production and sales. BYD reported $107 billion in revenue for 2024, exceeding Tesla's $97.7 billion. In the first quarter of 2025, BYD also surpassed Tesla in global BEV sales with a 15.4 market share compared to Tesla 12.6. And BYD sold 4.27 million pure electric and hybrid vehicles in 2024, doubling Tesla's 1.79 million. BYD also overtook Tesla as the world's largest EV producers with 1,777,965 vehicles produced in 2024 compared to Tesla 1,774,442.
China is now simply too large for the rest of the world to absorb this enormous capacity. Actions taken by the PRC today can shift world prices. And when the global market is flooded by artificially cheap Chinese products, the viability of American and other foreign firms is put into question.
According to Yellen, China makes more solar panels, batteries, and EVs than its domestic market can absorb.
It reflects Chinese policies that place great priority on these sectors, channel support to them, enable them to continue operating even when prices drop to very low levels due to overcapacity and their firms don't exit the market. Instead,
Is
it's
this,
potentially our
can we
firms
actually
that have to
buy
do
this
so.
in China right now?
Yes, no, actually we are just open the pre-order.
Pre-order, okay.
Yes, we open the pre-order and we want to be fully production on the 2026, the first season.
So 2026 is our target.
Gonna be 2 people sitting inside and we have a 2 driving system. First you can like fly automatically.
Okay.
Because if you like, for example, you just want to enjoy the view, right?
Right.
And you can automatically fly and then you just, do whatever
Okay,
you
so
want.
let's talk about what powers this vehicle here.
So our vehicle is basically a hybrid system. So we
Okay.
have the gasoline, but also it's electric.
So we have 2 options.
Yes.
That's handy.
Because the main point is our vehicle is not just a normal vehicle. We need to charge this flank kit also.
Right.
So with the gasoline power, we can charge the flank kit like 6 times.
Something that we thought was never possible.
Yes.
And it's here right before us now. This is the future in front of me.
It just honked at someone.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize.
So intelligent, in fact, the US is moving to ban this Chinese and Russian technology from the country. It says it's for national security, that car sensors and cameras can collect critical information. China, though, is not concerned.
What kind of person would buy this?
So we are looking for the people that who want to explore the nature, who want to go something different. It's not like we go off-road, right? Off-road people, they can only stay on the road, to be honest. But what we want different is we want people to explore the air,
Right.
It has millions of customers at home.
Are you worried about taking a car with no driver at all, with a young child?
No, we don't worry because we trust it. Yeah, we trust it, and it can show the high technical of our city.
with the drone flank kit and the car.
That is very affordable.
Yeah.
We're not looking to decouple from China. We're looking to de-risk and diversify our relationship with China. That means taking steps to diversify our supply chains, and we're not dependent on any one country for necessary product. It means resisting economic coercion together and countering harmful practices that hurt our workers. It means protecting a narrow set of advanced technologies critical for our national security. Those elements are all agreed on by the G7.
China does not buy that. To the Chinese, de-risking and decoupling are the same thing.
It's psychologically feels the same. Either it's decouple or it's de-risk. It's actually have the same impact of intimidate and also stop people going forward. So if you single out China as a risk factor and want to de-risk of that, that is really a big setback for the globalization.
So let's actually, there we go, sport mode.
Oh, okay.
No, that does have power. That's good.
Slot, basically. Some people call it keyholing, but really it's a puddle weld that goes from this chunk to the piece of steel that's inside, and they do it on both sides. This is a really, really I've never seen anybody do this. And I worked on tanks, and I never saw that before. So I don't know how much they really have to worry about, because we do have a side member or a cross-car beam here, and we got another one over there holding the engine up. Basically, you'd have to hit this with maybe a tank. Maybe that's what it's made for. I don't know how you'd crush this. I really don't. Just based on looking at this, I mean, it's only a meter and a bit. I don't quite get why they'd need that.
So we haven't looked at the battery. It's right sitting over here behind us. But when we get in there, I don't expect that we're going to see a lot of cross structures in there, right? So it's a BYD blade-based pack, and usually when we look at them, they like to really stack it in there, make it very compact.
Yeah, the blade battery tends to have the cells are really long to go the entire span the entire length of the vehicle. So you're right, you probably don't have room for the cross members.
But I mean, at the end of the day, I got a cross member here, I got a cross member there. This thing's made out of steel, not peanut butter. What in the world were they thinking? Because quite frankly, I do not see any crash that could make something happen in this short a distance.
Car industries is in major trouble. And as far as us here, we ain't gonna never get these cars, because in America, they need to keep us on these 0 down, $500 a month for about 450 months. APR of 25+% on the interest. Like, they frying you in a pan with no oil, no butter, just skin the metal. And China got free education and shit over there. So all you doing is racking up over here student loans, which will forever keep you in slavery. So they got all type of different tactics. In about 2 more years, China gonna have traffic lights in the sky, because they're already flying everywhere over there like birds with them X2, X-Pang flying cars. And them things raw as hell. While we gonna be stuck on the ground with all these gas guzzlers and raggedy ass Chevys fuming up the ozone. They known for catching on fire under extreme conditions, overheating and all that, exploding and shit. Now a couple of Tesla cars caught on fire just sitting in the dealer parking lot, like them nail penetrating tests or whatever, and they go right to them lithium batteries and they catch on fire. When they do that to them blade batteries, don't nothing happen. Another way China is killing the game is that they make these BYD electric cars with option of gas already included with it. So they're electric cars with the blade battery technology, but you could also still put gas in it. So you could drive them with just gas or just electric, or you could do it both gas and electric. It does something to it where it gives the car more power. We got the engine breakdown coming up, but until then, whenever you hear the word concept cars and it's dealing with China, they making it happen. They just ain't talking about it, they being about it. And they don't call it BYD for nothing. They building their dreams, bringing their thoughts into reality. And anything you see on this video here is already out in foreign countries right now, or will be out by next year. But most of these cars is already out right now in foreign countries. About 98% of them. And by the next 2 years, China gonna be in the future. They gonna have drone traffic lights in the sky patrolling traffic. Cause people just gonna be flying everywhere and they flying cars like the Jetsons. While we gonna be over here looking like the Flintstones. Cause there ain't nothing going down over here.
Actually, what looks like a gear selector, that's actually a joystick. You'll see you have little arrows in there. You can just kind of pull that back and forward. So any of you guys that play video games could probably fly this thing. Also, the dashboard is a full glass piece. It's see-through. All of that is for visibility. When you're flying in the air, you want to be able to see things. The chassis is also see-through. So if you look at the floor panels, that's just glass. So when you're flying right over people's heads, you can see people running away. See that? Switch back to drive mode whenever you land, and that'll pop up. There you go. Ready to roll. All right, side view cameras, because in the future, we don't need mirrors. And over at the front, let's go this way. And this is lethal, by the way.
In a hybrid like this is a relatively big engine for what it's supposed to be doing. The other thing too is it's turbocharged, which also was a little bit of a surprise to me.
Let's see how the Chinese answer to Rolls-Royce handles the bump test before competing with the actual Rolls-Royce and Bentley. Now it's driving over the bumps at 40 kilometers per hour. No droplet is leaving the glass. This car can serve as a restaurant on wheels. Amazing result. No water is lost. Now, let's compare it with the king of comfortable ride. As you see, the Chinese, that cost 8 times less, doesn't stay behind the Rolls. And now it's time to challenge Bentley. As you see, it clearly beats the several times more expensive Bentley.
Safety could be substandard from an American market, European market perspective, but this really seems to really keep in mind the safety of the passengers. We also see some.
They're making a statement here with that this is probably overly robust.
Way overly robust.
You see tire catcher here for sorb impact, so this will engage the wheel and
push it out.
You know, I think that regulations in terms of what batteries need to endure and how they're spec'd are kind of ahead in China than in the American market, right? So they do have some standards, the Chinese government, that we're still working on over here.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, this has gone through homologation. And so what they've got in China is China. This is made for an American market, and they probably looked at the homologation requirements and said just double it. And that way we won't have any problem with lawyers, and that's entirely possible. Why don't we stop with that for a minute? Let's go back to the powertrain, because quite frankly, I find this kind of confusing. Paul, you've done the research, so you can tell us what's going on.
Really, just looking at it this morning, one thing that jumps out at you is that in a north-south arrangement, normally you've got a big old drive shaft that goes to the rear wheels. There's no drive shaft. So this engine is driving a generator. The generator drives an electric motor, which drives the front wheels, and the generator powers the battery. And then this DC arrangement of power where they're pulling the power from the front side of the battery and going to the back. And there's another electric drive unit in the back. So it's really an electrically driven vehicle with a range extender engine. But they've done it in sort of the same way as the Chevy Volt, where inside this, there's a planetary gear set and a clutch that they can lock up that allows them to mechanically drive the front wheels at highway speed, which is more efficient rather than the series hybrid arrangement for highway driving. Running down both of these frame rails, and that ends up creating a big loop.
Well, could it be for regen?
So it may be. I mean, regen, you're going to get most of your regen from the front wheels, and that's going to be directly powering the generators. There's going to be some regen you're going to get from the rear wheels. But whether it's regen or motoring, the power is going to be flowing through the DC connections.
That rear suspension is like nothing I've ever seen, and I've worked on tanks, and I've never seen anything like that. And a lot of things that I see here just don't make a whole lot of sense. This is certainly not a low-cost vehicle. No way in hell.
Even this cradle that's mounting the EDU, it's hard mounted to the frame, welded and bolted in, which is interesting. But just looking at it, this seems excessively beefy, right, for just holding it up. Just referencing my mind and amongst other executions that I've seen over the years.
In the olden days, steam engines, that's a steam coil, and it would take up thermal expansion and contraction, vibration, on and on and on. So it's not the first time I've ever seen it, but it certainly is the first time I've ever seen it on a pickup truck. Yeah.
Also notable is a lot of the corrosion protection that they use on the truck. Right? Some of these areas on the frame are waxed. Have a look at the battery?
Yeah, let's go and have a peek at that. This has also kind of got a couple of mysteries. This looks like about 25 or so kilowatt hours. I'm not sure exactly what this is, but I've never seen this much padding in my life.
No trampling.
What?
Don't step on the battery.
Oh, very good. Oh, very good.
But yeah, aluminum box that's completely covered with this foam material.
One thing we are going to do is we're going to be removing some of these blade batteries and have them tested, and these guys know how to weld. Now this would be a robotic weld, but even for a robot, this is pretty damn good. I got to tell you, big kudos there. These guys know how to weld. Now this would be a robotic weld, but even for a robot, this is pretty damn good. I got to tell you, big kudos there.
And the only connections to this whole pack are again up front. And then they run all the power back to where they have the power electronics located.